Today on So Sonic, we're talking about the new KT Foreign and Rio de Young OG EP, Daygo to Flint. If you like music and discussing it, make sure to like and subscribe. But thank you very much for watching. Now let's talk about Daygo to Flint by Rio de Young OG and KT Foreign. KT Foreign is a rapper from San Diego, California, who I admittedly know nothing about, but it seems like he's been making music for over a decade now. And of course, Rio de Young OG, who is basically a Michigan legend at this point, he needs no introduction. He came up alongside other popular contemporary Detroit/Flint rappers such as Babytron, Grindhard E, and obviously RMC Mike. And in the early days of his career, before he turned himself in and went to prison for a stint, he was dropping nothing but heat. I'm a big fan of the Flint Detroit sound, and I've loved Rio de Young OG ever since the first day I found him. Rio has the unique ability to mix like super funny and clever bars with super hard hitting and like grimy ones as well. In one breath, he'll drop one of the funniest lines you've ever heard, and then he'll go on to talk about the size of his bullets being able to stop car engines. It's a really unique and fun style, which is why I really love Detroit and Flint hip hop. Now, unfortunately, I've not found much of what Rio has put out since he's gotten out of prison to be as quality as his early stuff. And of course, I'm sure it's very hard to just pick up where he left off, given how popular he was before he went to prison. But that being said, it just seems like there's a sauce or like a hunger that's lacking in his most recent output. And because of that, I was slightly unsure of what to expect from this EP. The EP starts off with the track Bump With Me, which is a pretty fun, high energetic song. It's kind of a classic Detroit/Flint style beat with hard hitting 808s, bouncy drums, and a lot of bell samples. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I think it's a fun, energetic opening that serves well as the opening track. As for the rapping on this song, I think KT Foreign probably gives his best performance of the EP on this track, and that's kind of saying something because the rapping on this track from him is nothing special. This is also probably Rio's best performance on the EP, which is also saying something because I think it's pretty weak for Rio. The flow throughout the track is fine. There are some fun bars here and there, but nothing stands out like you would expect to when listening to a Rio song. And even despite how mediocre his performances are all throughout this EP, he's still very clearly out-rapping KT Foreign. On the next track, 48 Bars, KT Foreign's flow just comes off as awkward and unconfident, and then Rio does really nothing to back it up. He's not saying anything special, his flow isn't that great, he's not very high energy all throughout this EP. The beat here is boring, it's nothing special, it's not memorable at all, which is the case for the rest of this EP, unfortunately. Much of the same criticisms can be said for the rest of this EP, such as the song Assets. Once again, the beat here is just boring, there's nothing special about it, it doesn't stand out, it's just not memorable. KT Foreign's flow here is very rigid and once again just kind of awkward, and it seems like he only raps in like 1 to 2 gears. He doesn't seem like he switches up his flow or his delivery all that often. And there's also a pretty noticeable disparity between the production and kind of quality of the mics that both rappers were using. It's pretty clear that they weren't in the same studio, in the same booth, sharing a mic while recording these verses. It's a little distracting, but I think it would be easily overlooked if the quality of the music was better. Because once again, on this song, there are no standout bars or flows or moments from either of these rappers. And then the final song of this EP is called Fired. It's probably the hardest one to listen to. KT Foreign's flow here is very elementary. It comes off as kind of corny sometimes, and there's nothing special being said. There's no clever bars. There's no fun moments in the lyrics at all. His lyrics are full of cliches, and you would think that for a rapper in this vein of hip-hop that he would have a lot more entertainment value to his lyrics. Rio gives maybe his laziest performance of the EP here. He doesn't really seem like he tried on any song on this album except maybe the first one, but it's just especially apparent here. And it's really a shame to say that because, like I said, I don't know anything about KT Foreign, so I don't know if this is the best of his abilities. I can't speak on that, but Rio I'm a big fan of, and I've heard all of his stuff, and this is not his best. In fact, I would argue that this is maybe some of his worst. It might be because that this is just like a collab EP that he wasn't giving his all, but it's very apparent that this is not 100% from Rio. So yeah, this is a pretty disappointing EP. Like I said, I don't know anything about KT Foreign, but for Rio standards, this is very subpar. My favorite track, I guess, by default is Bump With Me, the first track. It's basically the only enjoyable song on the album to me. And my least favorite is definitely the last one, Fired. I'm gonna give Daygo to Flint by Rio de Young OG and KT Foreign a 33. But let me know what you think of this EP down in the comments. If you like this review, make sure to like and subscribe. If you hated this review, make sure to call me stupid in the comments and subscribe to do it again next time. If you want to watch some of my past videos, I'll have one right here and right here. I just didn't pronounce my R there for some reason. I'll have one right here and right here, but thank you very much for watching. I almost didn't pronounce my R right there again. What's happening? Thank you very much for watching, and I really appreciate it.